It's Lauren with Bargain Bead Box. Today we're going to be making a lovely ombre gemstone necklace using the March 2024 collection. Let's get started. So from the box, we are using the jewelry chain, lantern spacer beads, toggle clasps, bead caps, 10mm agate rounds, and 8mm Amazonite beads. The items that are not from the box that I'm using today are ring 124. That's a mix of copper jump rings at beadboxbargains.com. Fine 1095. I believe we are currently out of stock, but have more on the way. These are copper clamshells. And then fine 2120. These are crimp beads. The wire I'm using is a 7-strand 0.45mm tiger tail, which is wire 539 at Bead Box Bargains. I wanted something that was a little thicker because we've got some heavier beads going on today. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut about a 16-inch strand of my wire. Okay, so we're really going to be playing with the gradients in the colors of these gemstones, and your strand is going to be a little different from mine, and that's totally fine. Every strand is going to be unique, every necklace is going to be unique, and that's part of what makes it fun. But I'm going to start by finding about the darkest matte agate I can for the center. And I think on this particular strand, that's going to be this bead. And I'm going to string it with bead caps on either side of it. So bead cap, matte agate, and bead cap. And then I'm going to pick out the two next darkest and put them on either side of it. I think that's going to be these two for my strand. And they don't have to match exactly. They won't match exactly, and that's all right. These are natural stones. It's what makes this necklace so fun. Okay, so there we go. Now, after that, I'm going to do two more in bead caps on either side. I'm going to pick my next darkest ones, which, let's see, yeah, it's probably these two here. So switch it up and put the darker one on this side. Maybe, I don't know, it's hard to tell. They're similar, it'll be pretty. And so, yeah, bead cap, agate, bead cap. There we go. Bead cap, agate, and then bead cap. And now I'm going to do two on either side of that, and I want them to be, again, kind of gradient. So we're going lighter. I think, oh, I love the way that these are kind of swirled. I think I'm going to do this one, and then a more orangey white one. Or I might even go a little lighter than that. Yeah, I like that. Go just like yellow orange, and then a more of the pale yellow. I think that's going to look nice. Okay, and I'm just going to string them straight on. And I'm going to follow them with one bead cap, which I don't often do, but I like it for this design. Points towards the middle. And in my head, they complete each other, so it's still a set of bead caps, just a very large, just with a lot of beads inside them. There we go, and now you've got that fun gradient going on. So now I'm going to move to the 8mm Amazonite, and I'm going to pick out 4 of them on each side. I'm going to start with the more orange colored ones. Let me see. And then the more yellow colored ones. So we've got some fun colors here. And then I'll maybe do a more transitional white one at the end there. I like that. So we'll do 4 on each side, starting with the more orangey and building outward. And again, your strand's going to look different than mine. Your beads are going to look a little different than mine. Just go with what makes you happy. We are making a beautiful ombre gradient design here. Nope, other side, Lauren. Starting from the inside, working out. And it's gonna just be very lovely natural colors when it all is said and done. Did I reverse those? Let's see. Yeah, that looks nice. I'm gonna stick with it. Okay, so now I'm going to put a spacer bead on either side. One here, if I can get it to go on my wire, and one here. All right, I'm gonna do 2 kind of whitish beads now on each side. So there's 2, and here's 2. I think these are fun because they'll kind of move on from that orange to white, and we're going slowly to the minty green. And I'm going to do one more bead cap after those two on both sides. So 2 more whitish ones, kind of yellow white, followed by a bead cap. Okay, I think I'm going to do kind of the grays next. So I'm going to be looking for more white and gray, and it's fine if they have some yellow in there too. Just, let's see. I'm going to get the most monochromatic beads that I have. Again, it's not going to be perfect, but the imperfection and the natural stones is what makes it so fun. All right, ooh, I like that. The gray coming after the white. Yes, and we'll put one more spacer bead on after those, and we'll do the same over here. Put this white and gray one first, then this super gray one, then a bead cap. Nope, what am I doing? A spacer bead. Yep, there we are. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna do some minty green ones now, like the lighter minty sea foam. Maybe a little more green than that. We'll play around with it, see what we like. Yeah, I like this. I like this light green. That's nice. It looks like beach glass. It's really fun. So yeah, I'm gonna pick my favorites out of these and do 2 more on each side. Here we go. And you can keep going with this if you want and keep going with the gradient. I'm gonna stop here after these 2, and I'm going to cap each end with a bead cap followed by a spacer. And then we're just going to finish this off real quick. And this is very similar in techniques to the necklace I made in January. However, that was my first tutorial. The camera angle was a lot further off, so in case it was unclear what I was doing there, it'll be a lot easier to see here. So I'm going to string on through the hole in the middle this clamshell bead tip, stick on the crimp bead. Come here. It's going to try to escape. There we are. And I'm going to crimp it with my 2-step crimping pliers. You can absolutely just flat crimp it too if you want. I just like to squeeze it and then shape it a little bit. And then sometimes I squeeze it again for good measure when it's going to get covered up like this. Again, it doesn't have to look pretty. It just has to be really secure. All right. Okay, now I'm going to trim off with my wire cutters this very end here. And I'm going to take my nylon jaw pliers, because the antique copper finish is a little more persnickety than some, and I'm just gonna push that closed. I'm not gonna squeeze it hard enough to dent it, just gonna push it closed. I didn't do a fabulous job of lining it up, but yeah, I'm gonna move it around a little bit with my chain nose here and try not to mess it up, but there. Okay, it's a little better. All right, and now we're gonna pull that tight. I like to curl this all up before I do the other crimp, because that makes sure that the beads have room to move a little bit. I'm going to straighten this out. I'm going to pull this clamshell open so that I can get my crimp bead kind of right up against it. And I'm going to put another crimp bead on. And here we go. I'm going to grab it here. And yeah, you want it not too loose, but also not like so tight that all your beads are going to bunch up. Just kind of a happy medium. And get that good and secure. Yeah, that's not gonna go anywhere. Okay, now we're gonna get my wire cutters again and trim that off. And then once more, we're gonna close this up. I'm gonna get it started so I can kind of guide it a little more than I did last time. And then I'll use my nylon pliers to give a little squish. All right. Okay, so now all that we have to do is attach our chain. And one thing I like about the chain in the box this month is that it is unsoldered, so it's pretty easy to work with. I am going to do 2 segments of about 6.5 inches each. You can do it longer or shorter, however long you want your necklace. So I'm going to do 2 segments of chain on each side. So each segment should be about as long as you want the total length you're adding to be. So like if you want to add 13 inches to your necklace, cut 2 pieces 13 inches long, because together when you double it up, those 2 will equal that about 13 inches, which is about what we're going for here, or what I'm going for. Again, however long you want to make it, totally up to you. Just divide that by 4 or divide it by 2, and then cut 2 pieces of that length. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little more. Yeah, probably about like that. And this chain, you don't actually have to cut it because it is unsoldered. You can just grab it and find the edge it's opened on. Here we go, and just open it like a jump ring, rotating either towards or away from you, and then you can just pull it off. And now I'll show you my trick for cutting 2 pieces of about the same size, except I'm going to throw this one away. I mangled it. Goodbye. I like to take a wire and thread both ends of the chain on that wire, and then just kind of pull it like this, and that'll help you get down to the link even. So let's move this out of the way for a second while I work with this chain. Yeah, so this is the link that I need to take off. Have an odd number apparently, and then that will lead me to chains of an equal length. And it is way more important that you have 2 pairs of perfectly matching chains than it is that the 2 pairs match each other perfectly. So like say you cut one 13-inch segment of chain and you then divide it into 2 6.5 inches, and then you cut one 12-inch and divide it into 2 6s. That's fine. It won't make a giant difference, but you want these 2 segments to be the same because they're going to be right next to each other, and it will look wonky if you're even a link off. So I'm going to get rid of this extra link and cut my next chain. All right, I'm just going to do that all over again. All right, so now we're just going to take our ombre gemstone segment and our chains and our toggle clasp, and we're going to attach it all using jump rings. And then we'll be done. This is a really simple, quick design, but I love the magic of the ombre gemstones. It's beautiful. So let's finish this up. I'm using a 6mm jump ring to attach the base of the chains to the necklace itself, and then I'll use a 5mm jump ring to attach the clasp. So here goes through that clamshell loop. And you can use wire guardians instead of clamshells if you like. I find clamshells a little easier to work with because I like that they hide the crimp, but either one would work just fine. Okay, and here's where you will absolutely find out if you made any errors with your chain length. I'm going to use a 5mm jump ring here to attach the clasp half. Gonna slip it on both of those and try to keep them in the same order that I put them on the first jump ring so they don't get all twisty and weird. Slip that one on, and now that one, and now the clasp. And now I'm gonna close it up. Here we go. Okay, and now once we've done that, we're just going to repeat that process on the other side. So 6mm jump ring, and then onto your necklace and your chains, 5mm jump ring onto your other clasp half. Okay, that's all there is to it. We have finished our ombre gemstone and chain necklace. This is a beautiful and versatile piece that you can wear with so many different looks, everything from casual to professional, and I love the natural beauty of the gemstones. Arranging them in an ombre pattern really brings out all the different colors. And there's so many different ways you can do this design. You can add more beads instead of chain. You can keep going and just do all beads if you want. Or you can alter the chain length, whatever you want to do with it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll have lots more tutorials coming up, along with some fun creative corner showcases of some of the other items our team made. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I also always love hearing from you in the comments. Thanks so much for being here, and happy beading!